and welcome to the God is a Geek podcast. My name is Adam Cook and I am joined by the loveliest of the lovelies, Adam Carroll.
Delighted to be here.
You alright, mate? You good? You've had a good week since everyone heard you last?
Yeah, everything is peachy, everything is going great, couldn't be happier.
That's great to hear. Gary Bailey is here. He has been allowed out of the caravan for one night only, Gary. Are you well?
I'm alright.
Oh, you're just alright?
Yeah, I mean, I've been getting over some kind of virus, so I'm still a little bit, but I'm here.
Something which, despite not living anywhere near you, I feel like you've passed over to me, because I am starting to feel very shitty. But, you know...
I have that effect anyway, it's fine.
You do, and feeling very shitty leads us nicely into Anthem.
Oof.
No, I jest. Has everyone played Anthem? Adam, have you played Anthem? I know Gary has.
No, I still haven't got around to this, man. And if I'm
honest...
You mean
you haven't been out and bought it? You haven't rushed to the shops to buy it instantly, immediately?
I really haven't, because it just doesn't seem like a game that's... Maybe that's why I'm happy this week. Is that why? Like, do you know... what? Because people just don't seem to be happy right now about this particular
That makes you
game.
happy. Oh, okay. Let's. I talked at length about Anthem last week, so I think it's only fair that I think Gaz, were you ill last week? I can't remember.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't here.
Okay, that's right. So let's you've played some Anthem. Why don't you kick it off this week and tell us what you think of Anthem?
I'm not quite as rough on it as you are.
Okay, fair enough.
No, I see the sort of stuff that you don't like about it, and I completely understand. I mean, I played a few hours of it. I enjoyed, like, the beginning's brilliant. I think the way it kicks off
it's got a good intro, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really well done. It just sort of kicks off straight away. On PC, it's gorgeous and runs butter smooth. Honestly, I don't know what it's like on console, but
I've also played on Xbox One X now. I should mention that. I'm not going to be switching to X because it does look very nice. I will say, if you are on console, it looks gorgeous on the X, right? I don't think that's a secret. It does run at 30 though, Gaz.
Right, okay. I mean, well, as you know, I don't mind that as much as you do, but...
Well, I only mind it because I've seen it in 60. Well,
yeah,
I think that's amount of hourage in 60.
Yeah, I think, like, because I've played it on PC and I've got more or less 60 frames, and although it's at 1080p, it's kind of got the bells and whistles, going. And I don't know if it's going to be like Darksiders was on the X, where it's like, yeah, it's in 4K, but it's lost something because it's not got the bells and whistles on it, so it doesn't look as good.
No, I think I mean, it's never going to look as good, but I will say it looks really good. Like, it is a gorgeous game on the Xbox One X. I can't speak for PS4, but on Xbox One X, it genuinely is stunning. Like, it is, but it's just for me. I can't. I don't have to play this is a terrible thing to say, but I'm going to say it anyway, because ultimately I have the power of editing. If I change my mind, I can edit it later. But I am going to say that given the choice, I don't have to play the inferior version. So I'm going to stick to PC. And also I've got like 10 plus hours in the PC game now, so I'm not going to... I'm not going to play it over. It's not good enough to warrant playing over. Like Darksiders 3, guys, in that respect.
Yeah, I mean, well, we obviously have different views on that one, but no, if I'm gonna go and play more of Darksiders 3, I'm gonna play it on the PC because that's where I have it, and it's smoother and it looked better than it did on the X. Again, like I say, just because of the bells and whistles that I've got going on the PC, because obviously my PC can handle it. But yeah, Anthem, I think it's really strong in the things it does right. But the things it does wrong are just kind of basic things that just... the whole thing is people have been comparing it to Destiny.
Yeah.
But it feels like they've tried to copy Destiny, but almost like they've just completely forgotten the things that Destiny did right. And it's the whole stuff like Tarsus. You go to Fort Tarsus and you've got to just wander around really slowly, and nothing's really going on, and you don't have any other people around like you do when you're in the hub and Destiny, and it just feels so dead when you're not out in the world shooting shit.
I will say Tarsus does improve. Like, there is some okay writing in there. There's also some fucking terrible characters. But they're like characters. Have you? Do I care? Does anyone care about spoilers? Do you know the character Faye? Let me ask you that question. I don't. To be honest, I don't remember names because they're a little bit forgettable anyway. That's another problem, right? So Faye is in the intro. Okay. The first very mission. She's your cipher, I believe, in the first mission. And I know this because when I replayed it on Xbox, I actually paid more attention. Whereas on PC, I kind of was streaming it at the time, I think. But Faye is one of the better characters. She's good. I like chatting to her. There are some others. There's one character, and they try and play this off as a joke. I think they think it's funny, okay? And there's this character, this female character, and you go up to her and you start talking to her. And I again, there's some sort of conversation where it's like, hey, I'm going to get into some sexy danger. And she actually says that, by the way. She actually says that. And then she starts giving the word sexy to other things. Like, her story is essentially that she has bet her javelin against and lost. So she has to give her javelin up. And you're trying to help her find a way of not doing that. But she permeates every conversation with sexy poker or sexy javelin, sexy danger. And it's like eventually you kind of join in on it, and it's you see your character go sexy danger, sexy danger. It's like, this is not funny. This isn't funny. This is not cute. It's bad. Maybe other people are loving that. I don't. I like talking to Faye, and there's some other characters around the area that are decent. But what about the gameplay there, guys? How do you feel the gameplay is?
I think the gameplay is brilliant. Like, when nothing kind of really compares to the flight.
Well, watching Iron Man.
The flight is so good. It's like if someone gave these guys the rights to make an Iron Man game, you've got the flight right there. You know, that's spot on. But yeah, I mean, the shooting's good. It's not Destiny good. It's not Halo good.
It's fine. It's fine.
But it does the job.
It's more than fine, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it does the job.
Well, credits due, because I think like the Mass Effect series, the gameplay isn't tight. Like the shooting and stuff isn't really that tight. I feel like this is, to give BioWare some credit, I'll say that this is the best kind of shooting mechanic that they've got put into one of their games.
It's funny you say that, because not to kind of jump to the end of our Anthem chat, because this is kind of how I'd conclude what I have to say. This has made me kind of want to go back to Mass Effect Andromeda, because when that came out,
don't want to go
I
back
didn't. I didn't hate it. I thought it was just all right. I didn't hate it, but they did update it an awful lot to the point I believe it actually did improve. It kind of makes me want to go back and get, because again, I do feel this is where Mass Effect should have gone. This is the natural evolution of Mass Effect. But let's talk about the gameplay again, because there's a mission at the midpoint of this game which is so bad I don't understand how it made it through. Now, Gaz, have you got there yet? I know you've played some of it because you helped me in my free play bit.
Yeah, I've not got that far yet myself.
Okay. So this mission that I've forgotten the name of, that's how memorable it is. Basically, there's a big story element where I think it's where they first properly introduced the baddie to this game, okay?
Yeah.
And it's actually like, I must admit, at that point I was like, actually, I think I'm getting into this. This is kind of BioWare. I'm digging this. And then what they do is they tell you, you've got to do this thing, but to do this thing, you've got to do these other things. And I'm being vague on purpose. I've not forgotten. I just don't want to spoil that, because it is a cool moment. But to do these other things, you have to go into free play, right? You go into free play, and you have to find these 4 doors. And inside each of these 4 doors is like there's nothing, to be honest with you. There's like a codex entry. But you have to do it. Now, each of these 4 doors has challenges attached to it. Is it 4? I think it's 4 challenges for each door. And these challenges range from open, I think it's 25 treasure chests, revive 3 javelins, get X amount of kills with your ult, get X melee kills, do 5 world events, or basically it wants you to go and do a certain arbitrary number of all the things you can do in this game. Why? What? Why?
It just sounds very MMO. You know, it's like just
but that's
it's like a
endgame content
thing. Yeah, that's not good.
Like, let me put it into another. Like, if you were playing God of War, we all three of us agree God of War last year's game was brilliant. You heard the podcast, you know we love God of War, right?
Yeah.
What if in the middle of God of War they said, right, you're climbing this mountain, but before you can open this door, I need you to go and kill 55 orcs, use the axe 25 times to finish people. You would just go, what the fuck are you doing?
It's almost like it was designed to justify that they've got the free play element. So it's like, we need to make you do it.
They had to patch it, right?
Yeah.
They had to patch it because before they patched it, if you opened a treasure chest, it wouldn't count towards my count. And there's only so many of them there. You'd have to quit the game and reload it. But they did fix that, to be fair. They did fix that.
But like, they shouldn't have had to fix it because it shouldn't have been in there in the fucking first place. Like,
and also, they shouldn't be calling it a day one patch when you can pay 80 quid for the game.
Yeah.
And get it immediately.
Like,
that was terrible.
From the time that you've played so far, we all know that like when Destiny got first released, it was received kind of poorly by a lot of people. It has improved, and there is still its fan base there. Do you see a good, bright future for Anthem, or is there a lot of work to do? Because as I said, I have not got to sit down with the full game, and
Gaz can answer this first.
I do think that there's potential there. There's, like, some of the stuff that you see early on is very good. The story I'm interested. I want to see more of. But yeah, I think.
But in terms of BioWare story, like if you're
no, it's not. It's not up there. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not. It's not your Mass Effect or your Dragon Age or anything like that. Or Jade Empire even. It's nothing like that. It's there. It works.
It does improve, Gaz. I will say it does improve. Where you are now, it does improve.
Good.
But as for the actual game, they have got a tremendous amount of work to do because the things, I suppose, I mean, like any critique, it's personal opinion. But the things that I think they need to do to fix this are not quick fixes and require fundamental changes. Like, this is a loot game, and the loot's terrible. Not bad, terrible. Like, when you finish a mission and you've been playing free play for an hour and you've got like 15 items that you've looted and 3 guns are the same gun.
Yeah.
That's bad loot. That's bad loot, man.
Yeah,
and that sort of thing needs addressing quickly. Especially when it's 3 guns that are below the gun you've already got and no use to you. Like, when you are playing as a Storm class, but you've also got a Colossus, the only way to really find gear for Colossus is to play as Colossus. So you kind of have to play as it's like, I want to upgrade this guy, so I've got to play as him. There's no, like, the loot isn't random. Some stuff can be used, but generally speaking,
on the
whole
subject
loot
of, like,
system's knackered.
The other javelins as well, that is bad. The way it's like you can't do multiple characters and try out the different javelins. It's like once you've chose your first javelin, you're stuck with that until you get to, I think, is it level 8? Where
level
then
8
you get
the second one.
then you can choose a second one. But you can't, even if you choose, like, start a new character, you can't then go, I want to try out another javelin. It's like you are stuck with that one. And I'm just like, that, to me, is terrible design.
Like the loading screens we talked about, but like when you load into the Forge and then load back out, like the Forge is a menu. Why is it loading into a menu? Why is there a load screen before the Forge?
Yeah, because it's the equivalent of pressing the menu button. I hate to say Destiny again, but it is. You press the menu button.
Assassin's Creed Origins. Say that. You press the menu button, you can change your gear.
Yeah, that's it. You go straight to it. There's no here's your like 30-second load or whatever. That's a little bit excessive, but it makes no sense that there's loading for everything.
Everything. Like and if you load into a thing and the servers play up, you're kicked out and there's a load, and then you think, oh, what's it loading? And then you see the main menu from the title screen, like, oh, it's kicked me out and loaded that.
Yeah.
And then you got to load back into the game, and then you got to load into the level, and it's like, this is just
and it's
that stuff's fixable, but
it's waypoint systems shit as well. Like we were playing the other night, and there were times where it's like, oh, we were going to go here, but you couldn't set a waypoint that then we could both follow. It's
not that I can't. There is no functionality to set a waypoint at all. So even if you know where you want to go and you want to just basically, like you're playing a GTA and you know where you want to go, so you want something to appear on screen to give you the quickest route, like a sat nav. Yeah. That's not in this game. How is that not in
And
this game?
even like when we were playing, there were times where it's like, oh, I've got to follow you because you know where you're going. I'm kind of helping you with your tasks at this point. And it's like, all right, he's gone off this way. And I'm like, where is he? You know, it's like,
Yep.
it does have like a little outline of you wherever you are in the world, but there's no sort of point, you know, to tell me which direction you've gone. I'm just like, I have to look around like an idiot trying to find you. And you can't sometimes.
I would not buy Anthem at the moment. I say that as someone who is. I do enjoy moments of it. Like I have enjoyed playing the game sometimes.
Yeah.
But do you know what? I am confident that eventually it will be a really good game, and I really hope BioWare get given the time to make it that. But at the moment, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's hard because I love BioWare, but I think, to be brutally honest, I think the three of us, I think everyone listening, I think we all need to accept that the people who made that Mass Effect series, the Dragon Age games that everyone loves, they're not there anymore. They don't exist anymore. That is not BioWare. Enough people have left, have moved, have changed, whatever. I respect them because I think they're trying something cool here.
Yeah.
But I don't think the BioWare that, you know, when people say like, oh yeah, but I want to play Anthem because maybe it's got the BioWare story. I don't think that BioWare's there now.
No, most of them have gone. Like, or at least the ones that were sort of instrumental in like the Mass Effect games, the Dragon Age games, the ones that people know and love. They're the ones.
But there's one for you, Gaz. As a Dragon Age fan.
Yeah, I'm worried.
Let me ask. I was going to ask you even more a blunt question. Do you want a new Dragon Age from that studio now? Honestly.
It's a tough one because I want a new Dragon Age because Dragon Age Inquisition needs a sequel. But from that studio, I don't know. I barely don't know.
Well, I just if they go for a Dragon Age game, I would like to think that they are like aware of the situation, that they have to bring in a lot of lore and stuff into that kind of type of game.
Yeah,
they can't. There's no way they could go, here's our new Dragon Age game and have it so bare bones and stuff like that. You know, there's no way that can be allowed.
What if Dragon Age it becomes an online medieval looter game?
Then it'd be like, fuck off.
Well, should we talk about something else, or do we want to talk about Anthem a bit more?
I think we've talked enough about Anthem for now. I think it's one that we'll talk about a lot over the year. We'll see how it improves, but I think it's one that we may have talked about for now.
The last thing I just want to say, it's very disappointing. It's very disappointing that this is what is being said about it, do you know? And it's not just from us. Like, overall, people are a bit like, oh, fuck. Like, there's some people out there who are having fun with it.
Yeah.
But aside from the flying around and the shooting, if things like loot isn't good, there's no real story, the hub is bad. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, it's stuff like the menus are pretty poor. When you've unlocked a load of loot, you go in and it's like you want to see what you've unlocked, and you look at it and I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at. And half of it's like the same thing, but ever so slight changes in stats, and I'm just like, it makes it's confusing.
The design sounds awful. The mission structure, like, I know what mission Adam's talking about because I've seen it, and it is awful. It is just.
It's crazy to roadblock your own game that way.
I can't believe that, like, this was done. Like, I don't understand. And the thing is, if they patch it over time, whatever, grand, okay? Like, we hope it improves, obviously. But for people like me who's going to wait on a while, like, I'll probably get the game, and then there's probably like, a 30, 40 gig patch or something, and then they're adding in all these features where, oh, you can now run faster within the hub area. But then it's kind of like, well, what does that say about your original plan of that area? Because you clearly knew it was shit. Like, and there was nothing to do in it. So now you're just doing this so we can rush out of it quickly. It's just, there's so many ideas. Nothing, like, the ideas of Anthem as well aren't original. Like, there's nothing in my head that's original about Anthem, but that's not to say that I wasn't excited leading up to it. Like, I just wanted a fucking Iron Man game as such. Like, I just wanted to be able to fly around and just, that looked cool, and they nailed that. but the overall outside layer is just, it's not worth it. Like, do you know, it just doesn't seem to
Adam,
work.
speaking of overall layers that aren't great, so at the time we record this, Trials Rising reviews aren't up, right? I know ours is written. Chris has reviewed it. I know what he's giving it.
You're a big Trials fan, by the way. Yeah,
I am a big Trials fan. Like, I've been following them since a long time before they bought Red Links. We had someone from Red Links, I think, before Ubisoft bought Red Links on this podcast. Trials Rising is a really weird game, chaps. Have either of you had a chance to play it yet?
Not yet, unfortunately.
I've played like a few levels. I've not put too much into it yet, but it felt kind of more of the same. But I felt, I don't know if you noticed this, but I felt like the lean system was a little bit off.
It's too early for me at the moment. Something doesn't feel right about it. Yeah, I will. I thought it was me. I'm glad you've said that.
Before you move on to this game, Ed, I think it's worth explaining the general premise of Trials, because I don't think there's a lot of people.
Well, it's a puzzle platformer. It's a puzzle platformer disguised as a motocross game, isn't it, Gaz? It's like you're riding a motorbike, but really the skill and the difficulty comes from it being a really twitch precise platformer. You know, you can accelerate and decelerate, but you can also, with the left stick, move your rider to create momentum, but also to shift how you move on the bike. Like, if you pull your rider all the way back, you will wheelie because your weight shifted to the back. And Trials basically goes across the levels settings to, you know, where they come from just simple, almost races, to by the end you are literally having to land and stop on a dime on a tyre that's upright, and then momentum-wise use your physical momentum to shift enough to get a jump onto the next one. So it's that kind of game. Gaz, I wanted to ask you about the. So I think the actual levels still seem great. Okay,
yeah,
and it still seems like a Trials thing, but the wrapping of the game,
it's weird.
So did you ever play Trials Frontier, the mobile game?
I didn't. No,
I did. Yeah, what? This feels like a mobile game.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Like,
actually, yeah, I can
really?
kind of see that now. There's a bit of a weird. I don't know. It's
wrapping,
like the
UI.
yeah, I don't really.
You get loot boxes in it.
Yeah.
Like, after the second, so you get a loot box pretty quick, and I opened it. I was like, all right. Opened another one. All right. I haven't looked at one since.
And what kind
I
of
don't
loot
even
is
open
this?
them. It's gear. It's clothes.
It doesn't do anything to upgrade.
Yeah, it seems to be all
buy-
Don't know.
cosmetics.
Okay, so it's just that. kind of shit.
I haven't opened a loot box since. I don't get why they're there. I don't like the map. I don't like. Do you know what I liked in Trials HD was where you just did a level and then the next level was on screen and you go this. It showed you the leaderboards. It showed you your mates and you're like, yeah, I'll have a go at that one. And then you can finish that, come out. Oh, there's another one. Yeah, I'll have a go at that.
Yeah.
That's what I liked.
Yeah, it's like they've kind of tried. Almost like they've tried too hard to do something like new when they didn't need to. I think it's fine as a just here's your next level, or a menu of levels that you can choose from rather than here's this weird world map that you've got to choose from.
But something's not right on this game because, like, when you get the loading screen, sometimes it hangs, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like the smoky thing that appears in the background, it like stalls before it loads again. And last time I played, it actually crashed the whole system.
Really?
You know when you get the repetition sound bug like that. I actually had that. I had to force close the game. I haven't played enough Trials to talk about the gameplay for this version. Obviously, I love the series. The levels do seem pretty cool in general, and it seems like it's a really nice looking version of Trials, and generally I am enjoying the Trialsness of it, but I do feel like the wrapper is really off-putting. It feels like they took, like, if there was any game that you didn't want to take the wrapping for a new Trials game, it was Frontier, and this feels like it's got that, like, a box appears and it's like, character is talking to you, hey, why don't you go and do this? And then it disappears, and it's like, it feels like a mobile game's UI.
Yep.
But I will play more Trials because I like Trials. So we'll see. I'm very interested to see the reviews of this game. Very interested. But Dirt Rally is another.
Play more of
sorry,
it.
guys. Yeah, of course.
But,
I haven't played enough to give a score. So to speak.
Like you say, it's the way it's all put together seems a little bit. There's just something not right.
Dirt Rally, though, guys. I've heard good things.
Yeah. It's like I played a lot of Dirt 4. Obviously, I reviewed Dirt 4, and it was kind of like almost like the arcade version of this.
Okay.
So it still had a lot of the realism, but it was dialed down a bit. So the cars were a little bit more lenient. Like the handling wasn't quite as realistic. Whereas this is like, I suppose it's the difference between something like Project Gotham and Gran Turismo, or Forza. You've got that. Project Gotham had like realistic handling, but it was just dialed down, so it was dead easy to slide around corners and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, with this, it's brilliant. I'd say one issue that I had like straight away was there's not really any lead into the game. You don't get like, here's your tutorial, or like, here's your first drive, and we're just going to talk you through this, that, and the other. It's almost like it just goes, no, here's your menu with your career, whatever. You get like a little sound bite when you first go select or look at selecting any of the options. You get a little dude that says, oh, here's this career is this. If you go into the garage, you can then look at cars and this kind of thing. But that's it. So it feels a little bit almost like an early access game in that respect. Like they've not quite finished the menus.
But the actual visuals of the game, I saw a clip of it and it looked really nice.
Good Lord, it's gorgeous.
I mean, admittedly, the video I saw was like a nighttime race, I think, and it was raining, I'm pretty sure, but...
Yeah, that was one thing, actually. The very first race, it was like a fuck you, basically. It's just like, your very first race is at night, I'm like, oh God, really?
It also looks ridiculously fast and...
Yep.
I don't want to say difficult because it's supposed to be, but you know what I mean, right?
Yes. I think that was one of the things as well, like Dirt 4, it was fast, but it kind of brought back that sense of speed, like pulled it back a little bit, so you made you feel like you were more in control. Whereas this, when you're going flat out, it's just you're screaming. You're screaming. And it's like you're going down like. It's like, oh, flat left, flat right. And I'm like, okay, right, I'm going as fast as this car can go now. And then it's like, okay, 2 left. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you hit the brakes. And, the amount of times I have gone right off the track is, it's funny. When you first play, you're first getting used to it, you will make mistakes. One thing, like, going back to the visuals, this was a roundabout way of getting to that. It looks amazing. Like, I think this is one of the best uses of HDR I've seen yet in a racing game.
Okay.
It looks real at times. It's just so well done, and I just think in general it's a very good looking game. Like, they've put a lot of effort into it, and he's got like the whole system where it's the surface changes as well, like with each race. And if you're the first one on track that time, your race would be very different, or your drive would be very different to the person who's like 10th in line. So like if you end up being the 10th person in line,
gotcha.
Yeah, you've got all the grooves and stuff from all the other drivers that have gone before you, and it kind of, you see it when you play Rallycross, because Rallycross is like laps, and you'll see the track a bit like what MotorStorm did, back on the PS3, where it's like you'd go through it and each lap you'd see where people had been, you'd see that the mud would get more churned up and the car will respond differently to it. And like there were times where I was like, why am I sliding so much further on this one? It's like, it's just my brain wasn't connecting the fact that the track had been used. So it's like you're on like the 4th lap of a race, which is like the 6th race in that day.
And the ground's degraded. Didn't Forza Horizon and 4 do that?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, it did actually, yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking of the Forzathon things where you like to have to loop round muddy bits.
Yeah, it's very, very impressive. I mean, when you start driving in one of the, because you start off in, I mean, I started off in a Lancia Fulva, I think it's called. I forget. It's an old, like a classic rally car, so it's not as fast as like the World Rally Championship ones. But then you move in the career. You sort of move up, you progress, you build your team, you go through the ranks, kind of thing. You buy new cars and you go up the different classes. But if you decide, oh yeah, I'm just gonna have a race and see what the World Rally Championship cars are like. Oh god, remember the screaming it's dialed up. It's night and day. It's the difference between driving a Fiesta and a Ferrari. You know, it's ridiculous.
I must admit, very tempted. Very tempted.
I think it's really, really good. I'm very interested to just keep playing. I just want to keep playing.
We should say we got review code a bit late. I think there's a mix up there. So like review in progress, it'll be up soon sort of thing.
Yes.
So, speaking of reviews up soon, we won't dwell on this too long. Because in a preview sense, Gary Bailey, you've been playing some Dead or Alive 6 in a preview sense.
I have indeed, in a preview sense.
And I saw some clips of this, and I like what I saw. This looks a very smooth fighting game.
Yeah, I mean, like, I did that video for the beta, and like I enjoyed that, and it's kind of, it's not really changed much since then. It's obviously it looks a bit better, that kind of thing, but the core gameplay is still Dead or Alive, and it's something that I really enjoy. It's dead easy to play. But there's a lot of new things that they've added in. The main thing being the special stuff, which was in the beta, where you press R1, and you've got like almost like stuff like Street Fighter in that, when you've got like your little almost like your special bar as well. It builds up. There's one of them, but rather than it just being a big special move, you can use it as like a special parry as well, which is very useful. Because like if you get in some of these fighting games, if you come against like someone who's a lot better than you, and you're just in a endless combo, you're just getting the shit kicked out of you. Whereas this, if that's happening, you time it right, you press like back and R1, you can parry it, you can get out of something that you normally wouldn't be able to. Which then allows you to like then launch into your own combo or still get the shit kicked out of you. You never know. But it looks good as well. I mean, stuff like the sweat.
Does it, Gaz? All the sweat.
Yeah, the sweat and the blood and the dirt and all that. It looks really good.
The bikinis, Gaz, is that what you're saying?
But I will say, like, they did say, didn't they, that like it's not as sexy as it was before. Or like it's not up front as it was.
Is that
which
true?
Kind of is, because it's like you're not like the standard costumes for each of the characters. You only have like 2 each for each one at the start. You have to unlock them over time, which does take a while. But I believe that's going to be taken care of.
I've heard that there is a toggle in this game.
A toggle?
But essentially turns on and off the realism.
Yeah. It's.
I haven't seen. Unless you're
the realism.
Like what I've played a small bit of this so far. My knowledge of like the Dead or Alive series is very little.
But you know a lot about realism.
No, what I will say, if you're meaning realism, it does prompt.
You know what I'm saying when I'm saying realism. No. The listener, in fact, you nor the listener can see that every time I say it, inverted commas, but they know now what I mean by realism.
However,
Tits, lads.
when you actually start the game, it will give you a message saying
there's so many jokes that carry on, please.
It will say if you want to turn off the violence, because apparently this is like a very violent Dead or Alive game.
Please tell me. In fact, Adam, lie. If you have to lie. But tell me that after you say that the violence option, it then comes up with a second one that says, "How do you feel about realism in physics?" Please, please tell me.
It doesn't I don't know, man. It's like,
do you like tits?
Oh Jesus!
Yes or no? Is that what it says? Is that the question?
Look, what are you doing to me?
You knew I was going to do this the second. That's what they say. That's what the game says. That's what the game is saying. What are you doing to me?
This is a PG podcast.
No,
Stop
it's not.
Well, all right, it's not. All right, tits.
Yep.
Jesus. No, it's like, look, the game seems really fun. As Gaz says, it's very easy to play. This is a kind of style of fighting game that I can get on with. I'm not great at fighting games really at all.
It looks like it plays really well. I really want to play it.
Yeah, it just plays incredibly well. The counter attacks and the parry stuff, really cool. It flows really well. I'm gonna have to be honest though, and I know this sounds a bit come on, but
in a preview sense,
I do just get a bit uncomfortable with the general game. It's just. I'm not trying to paint myself as some saint, but I went into the outfit thing and stuff, and it's like
Rockstar Adam Carroll doesn't like realism.
No, it's telling me do you want to put on glasses? And I'm like, oh, what the fuck does it matter? I'm punching the person in the face. I can't really get on board. I'm just like, yeah, all right, cool. But the gameplay is just fun. It feels like a really, really cool game. I'm looking forward to playing more of it. Definitely.
And again, Gaz is reviewing, it'll be up. I can't remember soon, but we can actually stream it and do stuff with it. It's. Do you know? I love it when I'm just going to say it. I love it when publishers do this. That they recognise that. Let's say, for example, that Dead or Alive 6 is a fighting game that's going to have things in common with 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and therefore it's okay for you to talk about the fact it's a fighting game with fighting in it and realism. And on that note. Yeah, review coming soon. Let's do some listener correspondence because we've got a boatload this week. Luke Phillips, who sent this one last week, and I thought it was interesting, but we didn't get to it in time, wants to know, at LukeyEDH, with Crackdown 3 releasing to poor reviews, are you guys hopeful that this is the last game of this era of mediocre, weak first-party Xbox titles, especially now they've acquired some strong studios? I'm just going to say you did not play Ori and the Blind Forest, young man.
I think he's going more for the just. There's been some weak stuff from Xbox, but I think he's this is the last. He hopes this is the last one, and that
it's
all the ones
not
after
be the
this.
last one.
But what have they got? What's left? There's what this year we know that Sony have got, for example, Days Gone.
Yeah,
and there's another game. I'm sure there's another game confirmed for this year, but Xbox for this year, I can't think of a confirmed. I mean, there'd be a Forza.
We've got Ori.
But yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So is it the last of the of the mediocre weak first party games?
Well, I mean, I'd hope so.
Recore 2.
I do hope so.
Recore 2. Yeah, it probably is, isn't it? I don't know. I don't think another Halo could be mediocre. I don't think we're going to get one for a while anyway. But
no, not by the sound of
Gears
things.
has never been mediocre. Gears has never been mediocre. So
Halo is mediocre. Whoa!
The caravan is open.
Oh, I'll say it.
You have said it. That's. I might put that as the title of the podcast.
Oh Jesus! It'll never be listened to. It probably actually will be, and then they're just trying to find.
Actually,
me and
do you know? I think we've just hit upon the social media goldmine of how to get extra listeners. Just name the title, a load of old bollocks. That's not true, but it will get people clicking out of anger. Kieran at McPoo, always one for give us a question, and we appreciate that greatly. He says that your left arm has been replaced with the last weapon you use in a video game. Do you get something badass like a chainsaw or a Gatling gun, or something lame like a plank of wood? The last weapon you used in a video game.
Yeah. So what's the last game you played with a weapon? And that's what you get to use.
I think for me it was Doom.
Oh.
But hang on, no. Was it Doom or was it like...
If we're talking weapons...
See, the thing is though, you have to make use of... If you play Dirt, then you're going to have a fucking steering wheel, my friend.
But that's not a weapon, is it?
But he specifically says the last weapon you used in a video game.
I mean, the only other thing would be if you class fists, because then it'd just be dead or alive, and then it wouldn't exactly be great, because all I'd have is my fists.
Can you use realism? Can you use your realisms as a weapon? In the right hand. Well, I'm trying to think of the last game I played with a weapon.
You're not allowed to play that game, Adam.
I damn well will, and I'll wait till my wife and kids have left the house and be ashamed on my own like I always am with them. All right? I'll be ashamed in my own private room, alone.
Oh, don't.
No, I'm sort of partially not joking there, because like some of those fighting games do get a bit, like you say, you feel a bit embarrassed if someone walks in front of them and goes, what's this? Nothing. What game?
But to be fair, especially in Dead or Alive 6, when you've got like the clothes tear and stuff like that.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Oh, my.
It's going to make it a little bit worse for
you. I think it's Anthem. I think it's the last game I played with combat in it. No. I played the new Toe Jam and Earl game. Does that have weapons in it?
I can't remember.
I don't think
going off the old
weapons.
Ones.
No, it's kind of like the first game. I'm allowed to talk about that, but we'll wait till Chris is here because he's played.
Yeah, I was just about to. I was wondering. I was like, "Are you allowed to speak about this?"
Yeah, no, that's fine. We can stream that game. It's. I can't review it, but you've seen the trailers. It looks like the first game rather than the second or third.
Yeah. I'd completely forgotten it was the third.
From that. I think most people did. It was an Xbox game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to say Anthem, and it was a gun, so it's. I just get a gun. I wouldn't call it badass because it's an Anthem gun, so it's just a gun.
Wouldn't it be a bit too big for you to use as well, though, because it'd be made for a big fucking mech?
Let's face it, mate. I'm not using a gun, am I? Anyway, yeah. Yeah, actually saying that, if it's attached to my arm, I'm in real trouble, aren't I ain't moving. That's fine. I'll just stay in my little room, not moving, playing my realism games. I don't know what happened there.
Well, I think it would be a rhythm game.
It certainly would be a rhythm game. Adam, what was the last game you played with a weapon in it?
It would have been Shadow of War.
Okay.
So I was using a sword and a bow and arrow, so I was having a great time.
Great stuff. Lyle Carr wants to know, he says, obviously my question's about food, because his name is Fish Chips Whips on Twitter. What's the best type of takeaway? Fish and chips, pizza, Chinese, etc.? This is the important content we need. I agree.
I really hope here the three of us are going to pick the same thing.
Knowing that Gary is here and how much he likes vanilla ice cream, I'm going to say we're almost certainly not going to pick the same thing.
See, Adam Cook, you could strike me as a fella now who'll say, do you know what now? Fish, chips and mushy peas. You'd strike me as that kind of person now.
Well, you'd be wrong.
Good. I'm glad.
I'm going to say that you, Adam Carroll,
yes,
are into your Chinese food.
I like what?
Chinese food. No?
Not into the Chinese?
It's obviously offended.
I'm not into the Chinese food. Ooh, I cannot believe you picked the Chinese food.
Well, I'm projecting because I'm going to just break the deadlock and say that for me, it's Chinese restaurant. It's Chinese takeaway.
Gary?
It's always expensive, but Chinese food is... Oh, I would never turn it down. Yes, sorry.
So hang on a second, all right. We'll get back to this in 1 second. I just want to... the round table is, for me, it's pizza, straight up. Gary?
Pizza would be up there. I would say, just before we get Gary's, I don't know, chip and a fish or something bland, I'm going to say that pizza would be damn close. But I am really picky with pizza. Like Pizza Hut do a fantastic pizza with loads of meats on it, chorizo, pepperami, and like a barbecue drizzle on the top. And that, pan fried, I'm well into that. But if we're talking just you're in town or in any town and you're going to have a takeaway, for me, it's going to be Chinese. So, yeah,
but are you an orange duck person now or something?
No, I'm not. Adam, we did a food podcast. How can you not know that I love satay?
Ah, yeah, you do, of course.
Sweet and sour. The thing is, if you're going into Chinese, there's little they can fuck up if you ask for sweet and sour chicken and rice. There's a sauce, there's chicken, there's rice. No, I actually prefer breadcrumb style now. That's my favourite. I always liked that as a kid, and I found a local that does that. I like breadcrumb chicken, and then the sauce you can pour over. Very much into that. There are obviously local ones that I really like a specific dish of, but you know, I'm talking if you're going to go any Chinese anywhere in the world, I don't think you can go wrong with some of these. But we've stalled long enough, Gary.
No, Gary.
I think, yeah.
Are we going to guess? Are we going to guess?
I think I'm going to go with pizza.
Oh, Gary.
Margarita. There you go. Done.
I like a bit
your
of
pizza
like a
choice,
bit,
actually, you know, just to
like a bit of pepperoni.
Good. Good.
Pepperoni, maybe a bit of ham.
Wouldn't have a bit of chorizo on there?
I've never.
Chorizo.
Ever had chorizo in your life?
Nope, I haven't.
Gary, I'm a vegetarian. Even I'm just shocked.
I've just made a noise I've never made before.
It's ridiculous. It's so good.
It's terrible
so
for you. But like spicy sausage, I'm in. Spicy sausage realism. So would you? You would see. I don't know that I'd need ham with chorizo. With I can't stop thinking about chorizo. I don't know that I'd need ham with. No, I don't mind it on there, but I'm not sure I need it with a pepperoni.
No, I mean,
Pepperoni.
I wouldn't have it with the pepperoni. I don't think.
Okay, but
like,
so let's say you're going in a pizzeria, Gary's Pizzeria down Manchester way. Gary? I tell you what, come in. We've heard your work on the God is Geek podcast. We've seen your opinions. You're a local celebrity. Come in. We will make you any pizza. Okay, come in. Gaz, let's start from the very start. What kind of base are we going for? We're going for thin pan? Are we going for cheese bites around the side? Are we going for fucking hot dog infused ones? What's the base, Gaz?
I'm just happy with a deep pan.
Sure, okay, that's fine. That's completely fine. What kind of base are we going? Are we going to go for a tomato passata base, or are we going to go a little bit old, just a little bit sort of modern? Are we going to go for a barbecue sauce base?
Nah, I tend to go with tomato.
Okay.
You're not going to be shocked in any way by any of this.
Gaz, work with me on this. This is a podcast. Work with me a little bit. You've got we got was it? Sorry, deep pan. Did you say? So you like a thick pizza?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I think that's unusual. I think most people go for the thin now. The more Italian, you know.
Yeah, they just think it's healthier.
Absolutely, you know, people. But then you're supposed to fold it in half, aren't you? Whatever. So we've got a thick pizza crust. No problem. Happy with that. I'm with you so far. We've gone for a margarita style base. Cool. Plenty of cheese? Are we gonna put the standard amount of cheese on for you, Celebrity Gary, or are we gonna go double cheese? What are we doing here?
Yeah, we definitely load up the cheese.
That's great.
Man.
Are we going just mozzarella?
Yeah, a bit mozzarella. Don't mind that.
Yeah. No, but all I hope you wouldn't mind. That's kind of an important ingredient in the pizza making thing. But I'm asking you, sorry, Sir Gary of Baileyford, are we talking just mozzarella, or do you want to throw some other cheeses on there? Do you want a bit of Bluey on there, or do you want a I don't know. Do you want a Comte on there, or do you want some Gruyere?
Oh,
I'm not really a cheese connoisseur. So give me a bit of cheese. That was fine.
You surprise me every week with. So right, okay, Gaz. So far we've got tomato and just mozzarella and a deep pan pizza. What can I put on this for you, Gaz? Bearing in mind that you're a local celebrity and you, sir, can have as many toppings as you want, as much of them as you want, and there's no charge, sir. This is your pizza, Gary. When you finish this, we're going to put your face on the board and we're going to put the Gary, and that's the pizza that the local Manchester teens will order. On Moss side, they're all ordering this.
Yeah, the Gary.
Wow.
The Gary. And there's just a picture of him smiling, which is hard to find, but we'll get one. What pizza toppings?
Yeah, to be fair, it's pretty much just pepperoni. I don't mind a little bit of like green red pepper, maybe. That's about it.
Is that really it, Gaz? Because it's just if we just put that on there, what we're really doing is we just need to put a picture next to the pepperoni one, sorry, and then we're kind of done. We were kind of hoping that being a celebrity, you'd give us, I don't know, some egg on there or something weird. I don't know.
No, because I can't have egg. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Fucking hell. Why did we let him in here?
This is the thing. I could never do, like, you guys used to do a food podcast. I could never do that because, like, there's so much stuff.
It wouldn't be very exciting.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the story of my life, really.
Well, Adam, I hate to say this, but our pizzeria is probably going out of business.
Yeah, we're already closing down.
The best we could do was our local celebrity wants a pepperoni pizza.
Yeah.
With maybe some peppers as an optional
Well, it's run out out the back of a caravan anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, clearly it is. Yeah, yeah. It has to be. It's on Moss side, isn't it? If we stop too long there, we get our trainers nicked. That's such a local joke that I don't even know if you get. Do you? I mean, you're.
Yeah.
Okay. No one else gets it. There's no one else listening to this podcast. Maybe Chris. Maybe Chris will get it. You're not that close. I don't know. While we're doing it, then, Ad, what are you having on your pizza? Let's try you. Adam he's come over from Ireland, and that has blown our tiny Britain, our British minds. That an Irishman has come to our island. What can we do? This Adam Carroll, his pizza.
See, my one's going to cause a stir because there is no meat on it straight off. Okay, so people are going to be raging, but I would be going deep pan, barbecue sauce.
Yes, Adam Carroll. We're already more excited. Go on, we're writing this down.
All right, deep pan, barbecue sauce. We're talking all kinds of cheese. We're going 4 cheeses if possible.
Yes,
like, give it to me. Give it to me. I want
rigid,
bubbles.
Adam. Go on.
Okay. Now, I might lose you here, Adam Cook. I just might lose you a bit, but I'm going to throw on some sweet corn.
No, I'm with you. I'm absolutely
okay,
sweet corn and barbecue sauce. Come on.
No. I should have said this at the beginning. My pizza situation, you see, it's a bit of a weird one because I'm not one of these kind of people, Gary, who is going to be like, no, just pepperoni. That's it. I kind of like throw everything. If someone says to me, you can have it all, I'm going to be like, fuck it, I'll have it all then. Do you know, it's food. It's all food. So I'll end up going sweet corn, jalapeno peppers, if possible, habanero peppers. Then I'll be going red peppers. Then I'll be going peppers. Onions. I'll be putting on a bit of mushroom. I'll be putting on falafel. Then I'll drizzle the whole thing in sriracha. Then if there was something else, I'd probably throw that on too. To be honest, this is going to be the wildest card ever. I'd probably put pineapple on it too, which makes no fucking sense in terms of everything that's going on. But then I'll cook it, I'll put it in my mouth, and then I'll regret every single pepper that's on it because it'll be so hot, and I love it. And that's straight up what happens. I just love all that kind of stuff.
Well, I am so pleased.
Unbelievable.
I'm so pleased. But we're not going to call it the Adam Carroll. We're going to call it the Pepper Pig because there's so many peppers on it. Peckers on it, apparently. There's so many peppers on it. We're going to call it the Pepper Pig. We're done. I was with you until the pineapple. Gary,
I know pineapple's controversial.
Well, I didn't want to get into it, and so let's not. In fact, let's not, because I think the best thing to do is to just we'll give a one-word answer, yes or no. And we'll move on to the next bit. Gary, pineapple on a pizza?
No.
I am also no. Adam, we know. You just said
no.
Yes,
I before we move on, I've done this conversation many times. Literally, just before the year ended, I sat down with about 10 different people, and I asked the question, and it was 8 out of 10.
What in favour?
In favour of pineapple on the pizza.
To be honest, I just thought you were going to say I asked the question and a riot broke out.
Like it caused. No, the thing was
it's just a fucking brawl.
What's very fucking funny about it is the people who don't like pineapple on their pizza. It comes across like you've offended them.
Because, no, I'm not. I don't care, but I would rather you didn't put it on there because I don't think I'd like it.
Those 2 people who said no way, right? They could not believe that 8 other people were into it. So they spent the rest of the day going around going, do you like pineapple on your pizza? And it just kept growing. Were they
games journalists? Like, because how dare they have different opinions? I actually thought for a minute, Adam, when he started this whole pizza thing, he was going to say, I'm not like normal people. I don't like it cooked. I don't know why. I thought he was going to say that. Darren at ROTMM says, what's the most embarrassing time when you mistook one person for another? Have you either of you ever done that? I have one. It's not exciting, but it is embarrassing.
I don't think I've ever done it.
I've won.
Go on.
I won.
Do
you want to go first, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if ours will be similar because I think this is a generic one. But I was in supermarket with my parents, and I was a younger lad, and I went running up to this person who I thought was my mum and gave them a cuddle from behind them. And all right, mum, wasn't her.
I got no. What age were you?
I don't remember. I just remember being a small boy, and I just ran up. I remember
Don't
it
you
quite
lie?
vividly.
This was last week.
I remember it quite vividly because I remember she was looking. Well, not my mum, but this woman was looking at like the sort of in a chilled section there, like into one of those fridges that you kind of get ham and cheeses on, and I just threw my arms around this complete stranger and went hi, and it wasn't her. It's the same.
My one actually happened pretty recently, and it was very embarrassing afterwards. I was like, oh, that's just awful. When I was in Canada, I came out of a shop with my girlfriend, and as we came out, we turned, and there was these 3 guys just right in front of us, and they were just stopping, and they just kind of then just walked on, and then my girlfriend said, oh my God, you see who that was? And I actually did. But the thing was, it was a celebrity, okay? And this celebrity was, have you ever heard of Cole Sprouse? I think that's his name. He is, he's a character from that show Riverdale, okay? So Riverdale is all shot in Canada, whatever, and he's pretty fucking famous, this dude. Like, he's really well known. Do you know who he actually is, Adam? Do you watch Friends?
I mean, not for a while.
Well, do you remember Ross's little kid, Ben?
No.
When he's kind of grown up?
No.
Blondie hair, not the bowl haircut, Ben. Kind of cut hair.
Sorry. No.
Oh, right. Fuck you, so. Well, it's him. It was him anyway, right? And the thing was, we saw him, and then we walked on, and my girlfriend was like, we have to go back and get a picture. And I was like, oh, this situation, I hate it so much, because it's always just like...
I can't imagine you doing this at all.
I know, but I'm just like, oh, I know she was all like, she had to go up there, and I was like, all right, let's go. So we walked away up, and we were like, all right, guys, how's it going? And they were like turning around, and you could just, you have that situation where 2 random people are just saying hi to these 3 other guys, and all of them are actually...
Oh, my God.
Oh, do you know who they were, actually? To make it clearer to you, Adam, do you remember The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody?
No.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I know of it, but I never watched it or anything.
It was those 2 kids, now grown up.
Gary, I never watched it. No.
It
was too late for me. It was quite late on when that started.
There was also a game on the DS with them, so there.
Oh,
but
no,
anyway,
I played that. Yeah, of course.
Of course. But anyway, they're there, they turn around, and you could just tell straight away, they weren't rude at all, but you could just tell that they were on their night out, and it was just a bit like, hey, how's it going? This awkward thing, they're trying to be polite to us and not be rude, and we were like, oh, hi, can we just get a picture, whatever. And then we got a picture with them, whatever, grind. But all of a sudden, I turned to this Cole Sprouse guy, and I was just like, oh, I always see you coming into where I work. And at this particular time, I was working in a cafe, and he was like, oh yeah, where? And I went, oh, working out in blah, 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 out in Kitsilano, is the area. Yeah. And he just kind of went, really? And I was like, yeah, I see you coming in all the time. And he was just like, oh, okay. So they kind of just briefly talked to us for a few minutes. And then one of the other guys said, so you're Irish? And we're like, yeah. And then this guy went back to it. So he was like, so you see me all the time? And I was just like, yeah, I see you coming in all the time. And I was just like, Jesus, should I not have said this? And then I walked, we left it as this, and we walked on, and then Susan, like my girlfriend, turns to me and goes, why did you say you see him all the time? And I was like, what? And she was like, why do you keep saying you saw him? And I was like, because I do. And she's like, no, you don't. You don't see him at all. And I was like, we had this kind of 5-minute argument going back and forth about, I was like, yeah, he comes in all the time. I was like, he's always in, buying the smoothie, getting a coffee, blah, blah. And she turns and she was like, that's the other fucking character from the TV show. And I was like, oh, it is. It's the other character from Riverdale. It was, Sweet Pea or something is his name in the show, but for some bizarre reason my brain just totally registered it being him, and I was like, oh, sure, I'll finally open a conversation. He must have walked away and went, that bearded bastard is fucking crazy. And that was that, and I got very embarrassing all night long. I was very just like, oh, that's really upsetting. And we have a picture and all, and every time I see the picture, I just go, I can't look at it.
That was that time.
Do you know?
Okay.
But,
Well, last question of the week is for an email from Albumin J. Percival. He says, I miss arcades. Did you have a local arcade or any fond memories of hitting up the arcades? If so, what? I particularly miss the full car style rally games like Sega Rally or the like, and, well, I generally just miss the noise of the coins and excitement of seeing if there are any new machines in the place I used to go to. What were your favourite arcade machines?
I think arcade machines are back.
Are they?
I know what. Yeah, Jesus.
There's
one
that.
up,
What's that American bar? Where it's literally like go and have food in an arcade. I can't think what it's called. I hear adverts for it now and again.
Yeah.
But do you?
Like
The question: do you have a local? Did you have a local arcade or any fond memories of it? And what was your favourite arcade racer? Arcade machine.
Yeah, I actually did. I had one like 2 minutes in the road from where I grew up, and it was fantastic. It was just this dude just opened it up, and he used to sell like it was a shop as well, but then he had all these arcade machines, and he had it all. He had all the stuff, Virtua Fighter and stuff like that, and those dancing machines, and it was great. It was really, really good. Favorite one? Don't really know. I can't. There was it was always great.
Okay. Gaz?
Yeah, I mean, I never had a local one, but I used to go to Blackpool a lot as a kid and family, and used to go to like arcades there. So like, always played on stuff like the Ridge, the Ridge Racer, which had like the full size car. That was awesome.
Yeah. Wow, I forgot about them.
Yeah, but I mean, I used to love stuff like the House of the Dead, stuff like that as well. The shooting games.
Oh yeah,
games. I don't think I ever had like a proper favourite, but I just enjoyed the arcades. It was cool. Just don't get it anymore.
So we used to have. Well, there just aren't arcade machines. Like I don't see them anywhere. Like so we had a Sega World. Does that mean anything if I say that to you guys?
No.
So is Sega World a thing that was? I always wondered if there was a Sega World was a thing, or if it was like just a few of them. But in Bournemouth, Sega World was a massive, massive arcade that basically we as kids would get the train to Bournemouth to just. Usually we'd go in. Well, this is going to age me, but we used to go in Wimpy. Does that mean anything to you, Wimpy?
Yeah.
Wimpy sounds.
Wimpy.
Is it a fast food place?
Yeah. Well.
Okay.
More of a restaurant. But it's not dead. Actually, there are still some Wimpy bars, and you used to get, and I tell you this much, there's no way it's still called this, but you used to get a bender in a bun.
Hey!
And I guarantee you that it's not called that anymore. Used to have that, and that was a hot dog, by the way, like a posh hot dog all curled up in a bun, and it was bent, because it was bent.
I fucking hate hot dogs, man.
Yeah, you just pipe down you. We used to go in there, and then right next, so basically in this road on Bournemouth, I think it might be Commercial Road, I can't remember the name, but I think it was that. I don't know, it doesn't matter. On this same road, you had Wimpy. Okay, next to it was two cinemas, ABC and an Odeon. So you'd have your Wimpy, you'd go in a cinema, and you'd come out and you'd spend the rest of the night basically on the same road in Sega World. And Sega World was always the first in the area to get in a new game. But weirdly enough, my favourite memory, I will say that even now, as a nearly 40-year-old man, if I'm somewhere like, and I sort of hear that noise that makes me think, is that an arcade? And I will wander around the corner and see an arcade. I just look at it and go, oh, now this is someone, I speak as someone who has access to pretty much any game I want to play, often ahead of time, but I see this arcade and I'm like, oh, I've got to go and have a wander around. And I'm not going to spend any money, and I never do, but you just go in and you're like, it just feels special in a way I can't articulate really, but there's something about arcades that just, it's primal feeling of like, oh, the wonder, the noise, the glamour, because it was also next to a betting shop, like a casino as well. We were too young to go in. Anyway, my favourite arcade machine. I doubt anyone's going to know what this is called, but do you remember Operation Wolf?
Yeah.
It was a stand-up arcade cabinet which had like an Uzi attached to it. Yeah. And it was a light gun game with an Uzi. And it would either be that, because whenever we went abroad, like on a holiday with the family to Spain or something, there would never be massive arcades, but there's always an Operation Wolf cabinet. But my favourite arcade machine, Mortal Kombat. So if I didn't want to go to Bournemouth back in the day, because, you just couldn't afford it, there is a local recreation centre, which is still here today. Upstairs, they had, like, you know, when you go to watch, you can go swimming, but you can also often go and watch people swim. Like, there's a spectator area. Up there was a cafe that no one ever went in, next to the spectator zone for the swimming. But there was one machine in there. There was only ever one machine in there, Mortal Kombat, and then replaced by Mortal Kombat 2. And the money I plowed into that machine, and you weren't allowed in there, by the way. You weren't really allowed back then to just go and spectate, so you had to pretend you were going in there. So we ended up having to go and buy like a slushie and play it, and in the end it was like, are you going to leave? Because you're just playing the arcade machine. Oh, okay. And we learnt the fatalities, and we learnt all the moves before the internet. And that machine, if I could have an arcade machine, I think it would probably be a Mortal Kombat machine. Great game.
One of the lads I know, he has one. He has the Mortal Kombat arcade machine.
And I bet he never plays it.
I actually don't know. I know at the time when he got it, he had to get it fixed.
Yeah, well, that's a whole thing with arcade machines, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
I know. But that's that's the podcast for this week. I think we're done. I think we got through those questions. I want to say thank you very much to all the people, especially Albumin J. Percival, which is a terrific name that I hope is real.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I wanted to highlight that name. That's a great,
fantastic name. Other names that are great: Gary Bailey at Blue Fury 47, Adam Carroll at Adam Soaps, Adam Cook at JeebusF, godisageek.com at godisageek. Thank you very much. Please do follow us on there. Shout at us. Come and join our Discord. Become a Patreon for $1 a month, and you get this podcast early. We do bonus podcasts, early videos. We give away loads of codes on there, actually, and we have a private Discord for Patreons only. Adam, Gary, thank you for your time. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And everyone else, we will speak to you next week, or whenever you choose to listen. Goodbye for now.